Hello, my name is CATE STILLMAN with Yoga Health Coaching and Yogahealer.com, and I'm going to talk about what happens when a wellness pro does not have the right business model. So in the last video I talked about the gain, about like all the amazing things that can happen when you streamline your time and your energy and you're getting people to results and it's easier than ever and you have an easeful life and you have profit margin that you can then reinvest and make even greater impact happen in your business, and you become a true leader in your vision within your community that you're growing. So that's all that can happen. But now let's look at what happens when that doesn't happen. And this is what I've seen for years. I've coached body workers, I've coached yoga teachers, I've coached doctors, I've coached nurses, I've coached physician's assistants, I've coached mental health therapists, energy workers, nutritionists, Chinese medicine practitioners, Ayurvedic medicine, like wellness pros. And this is a term that I needed to use to group us all into one category of like, we are all helping people step into thrive. We're helping people with wellness. What happens when we don't have a results-driven business model with a high enough price point to be able to exchange commitment and value is we end up working with people that, or we end up structuring the way that we're working with people in a way that actually does not advantage our clients or students or patients. It doesn't advantage them towards investing and being committed to the end results that they actually want. And what I say is that's actually our responsibility as a wellness pro, to set up our business, to set up the structure, to set up how we exchange our commitment for value, our commitment for money, our guidance for money in a way that advantages the people coming to us who may have heard of us through word of mouth, who may have heard of us through social media, who may have heard of us through because we're running a Facebook ad campaign, right? So any of these ways, who may have heard of us and then are wondering if we can get them what they want. Now what they want is end results, but what I find far too much, and I find it's actually endemic in the trainings that most wellness pros receive, is that they're just available. They're just available to trade on dollars per hour. So can I book an appointment with you? Sure. Oh, how much is it? It's this much. Okay, great. Can I come Tuesday at 5? Yes. Right? And what that business model does is it gets the person just thinking that you can help them with this thing and it's going to take this amount of time. But if you really think about what they're coming to you for, say someone has an autoimmune disease, say someone else has chronic allergies, say someone else has been struggling with their weight for 30 years, say someone else is trying to overcome trauma or emotional abuse that's been part of their health history for 40, 50, 60 years, right? You're not going to be able to help them in an hour. And even if they reschedule a couple weeks later and a couple weeks later, if there's not the structure that's based on, let me help you get from here to here, from A to B, in this amount of time, what will happen is that you're giving them a lot of opportunities to fall off along the way. Now we all know that with deep transformation, with a shift from habits that are not working for a person to habits that are working for a person, that takes time. We also know, given great behavioral research, that if you're in a community that has those habits, it happens about 10 times faster, which is astounding, right? When you really think about it. If you hang out with healthier people, you have healthier habits. If you hang out with the people that you've been hanging out with that don't have healthier habits, and this is your client I'm talking about, then it's harder to get that person to results. So you got to really think through, like, for anyone that's coming to you, do I have a business model that's results-based, that's commitment-focused, and that's at a high enough value exchange for the person to have enough skin in the game to make it through the tough times, to make it through those days when they don't want to do it, to make it through the days when they're like, oh my gosh, the people that I'm in relationship with can't actually support me to where I want to go. And how are you going to structuring your business to help people that come to you orient towards thrive? Now, if you're in the dollars per hour business model, you've got to know that at some point it's just not going to work. You're going to hit your income ceiling, you're going to hit your impact ceiling because you're hitting your time ceiling. So you have to structure your career in a way that you're not going to hit your time ceiling. Otherwise, what you can expect is that, yeah, you can have a nice career as a wellness pro. You're going to find that you have the common complaints, which are you're getting limited results for your clients, that your clients aren't as committed to their health as you are, and that you're hitting your glass ceiling in terms of being able to charge what you charge for dollars per hour. And yes, you're doing fine, and yes, it's all good. But boy, you might be curious about how people double their income, or you might be curious about how some people have a raving community of followers around their work. And if you're curious about those things, it's my deep belief that every wellness pro is unique unto themselves and how you can help people. That's a unique transformational journey. And your experiences on your own healing path and your experiences in helping people towards thrive, that you can package that in a unique way that really honors who you are as a person, that only you can uniquely deliver. And that the people who are wanting to connect with you are wanting to connect with you. And when you take the self-leadership to say, you know what, I'm going to guide you to results. In fact, I'm guiding this group of people. Do you want to come? What can happen is it can dramatically change your life. You can charge a premium because now you're guiding a unique transformational journey and you have no competition in the marketplace. This is dramatic. This is your market differentiator, right? Like, people work with me because they want to work with me. It's not because they don't have other choices. It's because they connect with me, right? And when I guide them, I know who they are and we're going to this end result. And that's how it can be for you. It's a totally different payment structure. It's a different business structure. It's a different marketing and enrollment structure, but it's very easy and it does not require you to have to work with anybody who finds your name or just picks up the phone. What it does is it helps you realize how many people you want to work with a year. For some of my wellness pros I work with, that's 15 people. For other, it's 50 people. For a few, it might be up to 100 people. It's usually not more than 30. And then they realize the price point. The price point has to be significant, right? So instead of trading like, oh, sure, come see me, it's $100, it's $200. It's like, no, if you want to work with me, we're going to find out the results you want, and we're going to get you deeply invested so that you can get to those results, so that I can guide you there, so that we both have skin in the game in this journey. So it's there's different skills in here, and that's part of the pain of, like, chances are, if you don't have those skills yet, you've shied away from them. And we see it time and again with the wellness pros that work with me, that come into our program, is it's like, hey, we're going to nail these skills so that these issues are no longer your issues, so that you can scale your time, so that you have more free time for self-care, for self-rejuvenation, and for whatever it is that you love to do. You might want to have more time with your family. You might want to have more time what I do is like ski and surf, and mountain bike. That's what I like to do. But whatever it is, that's the point. So you don't have to be in a place where you're not creating the best work of your life and getting paid a premium for that. And if you're not doing that, chances are there's just a few things you need to learn. Talk to one of our success coaches. Just go to yogahealthcoaching.com/conversation and get on the horn, and we'll figure out where your ceilings are, where you're stuck, where the missing skills are, and what you need to learn next.